we have got our image created. Now let us see creating an image in the other way through a Docker file, the standard method of doing the things, right? So we were talking about creating Docker images. Let's talk about creating Docker image. And also we have discussed about creating image from a running container. This part we have already discussed. Now let's talk about the standard way of creating an image from a Docker file. This is actually a single word, Docker file. Okay, from Docker file we'll build an image. So what is a Docker file? It's nothing but a text file. And text file, okay, if it is a text file, how can we create an image? Yes, text file which will have some Docker instructions. Let's say you have written some 4 Docker instructions. What are those Docker instructions? We'll have. Okay, and then you build this. Okay, when you build, what happens? Corresponding to every every Docker instruction you have here. Okay, corresponding to every Docker instruction, a file system layer will be created. Okay, corresponding to every instruction, a file system layer will be created. And all these file system layers are piled one above the other, or stacked one above the other, which makes your image. So this is your image. So now what is an image? Image is nothing but a stack of file system layers added one above the other, which makes this image. Okay, so this is one Docker file, second Docker instruction, third Docker instruction, 4 Docker instructions. So 4 file system layers will be created, which will be added one above the other, which makes the image. Okay, that's how image is made. So till now you're talking about what is present in the image. Inside the image, you have file system layers. File system layers stacked one above the other. You have got the file system layer stacked one above the other, which makes your image. Okay, this is your complete image. And when you run this image, what happens? A container will be created. When you run this, a container is going to be created. Right? So yeah, you need not take care of these file system layers and all. All these file system layers will be managed by Docker daemon. Docker daemon will manage all these file system layers. Okay, so that's how it is. Now, like whenever you make any update, any change, okay, you cannot modify this image. This is a read-only image. Image is a read-only template. Okay, if you want some modifications to the image, you should make modifications to the Docker file, build a new image from there. Okay, so when you run that image, a new container will be created which will have your updates or changes. So let's create a Docker file and let's build an image from there. And the same concept is happening when you create image from running container also. This method also same thing happening. Docker file system layers were added up and all. But it just works in a like we don't see them, it all happens at the back end. But in this method from Docker file, you can visualize this concept very clearly. Okay, so let's see how this is going to work. Let's see. Yeah, let's create a Docker file. And always the best practice is create a Docker file in a directory called any directory. Okay, put it in a separate directory. So I have created a directory called Docker files. So here you can create a directory. Here you can create a file called Docker file. Docker file name will be simply Docker file. So what is the first Docker instruction? See, always there is a mandatory instruction called from. Means we'll use some base image. What is this base image? Okay, my requirement is, what is the requirement? I'm going to have the same requirement like we had earlier. The requirement is being like from Docker, from a base image. I want a Vim package, Vim on Ubuntu. So Ubuntu installation, Ubuntu operating system is already there. We need not create it, right? We can use that from the official repository and develop above that. You need not go for creating OS and all. So from to take Ubuntu image, above that, if you want, you can put some author name like maintainer is the next Docker instruction. These are the Docker instructions. Maintainer means author, creator. This is optional. If you want, you can add it. Then I want to do some installations. Whatever you want to do during the build of the image, place them in a run flag. Run first apt get update. Okay, update the package manager. That's what we did if you remember. Then apt get install vim. It's not an interactive mode, so put y here itself. That's all. So run command executes during the creation, during the build of the image. So it will update the package manager, install vim, and then whatever you want. If you want to run any command during the launch of the container, they goes under CMD command. Let's suppose I just wanted to print some message whenever it is shown. Do you remember hello world? It displays a welcome message. Similarly, I want my container to display this message whenever it is launched. Hello, my container. Hello from my container. That's all. So what it does, from will use some base image, means it will take Ubuntu. On that Ubuntu, it will put some author name, install and update the apt-get package manager and install vim. This command executes during the launch of the container. Run commands executes during the build or during the creation of the container. Am I clear? Understood this, everyone? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, let's see what happens. See, like I told you, we need not develop operating system and all. Okay, OS is already there. You have to take that official operating system and make modifications about that. So let us run this and see what happens. Save this. This is nothing but your Docker file. It will not have any extension, simply Docker file. You could put any name, but generally we give the same name. That's a standard convention. Now, how do you build an image from here? Docker build -t. Okay. Docker build -t dot. Okay, Docker build -t. What is this -t tag? Okay, give some tag name. Means you may give any name of your choice. Later on, you tag it wherever you want to push accordingly. I'm giving the tag as Vim so that I can understand. Okay, this is a new image with tag Vim present. Dot means here actually you should put the location of your Docker file. But because I'm running the command from the same location, dot means present working directory. I'm running this command from the same location. In case if you are running it from any other location, you have to put the path of the Docker file, including the Docker file. Generally, we issue this command from the location of Docker file. So we generally give dot. Okay, so that's called build context from the same directory where Docker file is present. So now what it will do, it will build the file system layers for each instruction. I have 5 instructions. Now see what happens. See, what is the step 1 of 5? 1 of 5 means 5 instructions are there. First step out of 5. Second step, see, this is the file system layer. This is the file system layer. For every instruction, file system layer is added. Here something went wrong in the Docker file. Go to Docker file. See, it is apt get update. What is this? Apt get update. That's all, right? Okay. Now build it. See, apt-get update, it updates the package manager because it's Ubuntu. Apt-get is the default package manager. Step 4, step 5, can you see that? Finally, image is created. Successfully tagged means successfully created for all the 5 instructions. You can see 3 of 5, then 4 of 5, and so on. And here you could see Docker images. Do you see that? Okay, new image colon. Okay, perfect, right? So, yeah. Suppose you want to see the details of the file system layer, history, the image name. You can see the details of all the file system layers. Here you can see all the file system layers. Do you see that? Apt-get install, apt-get update, maintainer, everything. All this is happening. What is this? This is your base image. And if you see here, the new image, first file system layer is the base image. Here you can see Ubuntu 77.8 MB. Because we took the base image, above that we have added few more file system layers. One is added because of this command, another one because of update. And when you add all of them, it makes 172 MB. That's how the size of the image is constituted. You get all of them. You can add all those layers, which makes your 172 MB, out of which the base image is 77 MB. Got the concept clear? Interesting, isn't it? We